If I could travel back in time, I wouldn't change my story. But I had warned my younger self about the 5 mistakes I made that slowed me down before I turned 24. We all make mistakes, but learning from them is what shapes us. Looking back, these 5 missteps actually taught me lessons in the hard way, and I am sharing them with you so that you can avoid the same pitfall. One of the mistakes I made in my 20s is chasing approval instead of chasing purpose. I struggle so much with self-approval. I always think that when people praise me, or when people approve me, or when I'm just being that good person, going out of my way, doing all those exercises, trying to impress people, by doing that, I will in turn feel satisfied, feel confident, and feel great. But you know what? It never worked that way. Like, no matter how loyal I was still feeling empty within me. No matter how much I went out of my way trying to make people feel okay, trying to be this good person, trying to seek their approval and their praises, trying to be in the right side of them, trying to belong, I never feel that satisfaction. I never feel that approval. And one thing I've come to learn is that the worst thing you can ever do to yourself is making people or placing people in the driver's seat of your life. No matter how much you love them, or no matter how much you feel like they love you, they can never drive you to your purpose. They can never do things that are in alignment to what you want or where you are going, because they are going to do things based on what they want, what they feel like, and what makes them feel okay. And right now, I have learned to really drive my life because I believe I love myself enough to know what is good and to know what I want in life. And that leads to the second point, which is neglecting my finances. All the times I have always lived in the moment when it comes to my finances. Like, I always believe in doing it now, tomorrow will think for itself. But it doesn't work that way when it comes to saving and budgeting. When it comes to your finances, it doesn't work that way, because life challenges are inevitable and they don't have to seek for your approval before they struck. So imagine it happening and you do not have any plans for the future. Just imagine your life, imagine this scenario. So guess what, life really happened to me, and at this point I had nothing on me. Like, I was so dry, guys. I was so dry to the core, and when this thing happened, I felt so bad. I regret every actions I have ever took. I was just dying in regret all the days long. But I just realized that regretting it wouldn't do me any good. Rather, I have learned, and I am working more now in budgeting, saving, and managing my finances more properly well. And the third mistake I made is overthinking instead of starting. I spent all my days planning and perfecting on ideas that I never work on. This reminds me of this time I joined this network marketing business that requires you to go out there, talk to the people, advertise your product, make sales, and recruit them in return. But you know what? I have phobia with public speaking. I have this fear of approaching to people because I always imagine the worst. What if I don't make sense? What if they turn me down? What if they just, snub me? A lot of what if was going on. And if you see me those days, I will waste all my time reading, rehearsing, like doing a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I never implemented any of these things. This also extends to other areas of my life. But when I sit down to look at some people that I even started before, they are already doing so great in the business because they make good use of the opportunity, and they knew that this is their life. They are talking about their finances and everything, and today they are living the best of their life, doing what they love, bringing value to the society, and being validated enough in themselves. But right now, I don't need to beat myself because I have learned, and the good thing is that I'm still alive, all thanks to God, and that means I can make things right. I can rewrite the whole story. This leads us to the fourth point, and that is ignoring self-care. To be honest to you, I feel like I'm the worst person when it comes to self-caring. I always think that self-care is all about you buying the things you want for yourself, giving yourself all this luxury, and just feeling among, doing what the society demands, eating the food when you feel hungry, going to the spa when you feel like. And if you're not doing any of those things for yourself, that means you are not caring for yourself enough. But that was a lie. There was this time I was hit with this sickness. The sign came, the sign were there, but But you know what? I was so busy. I was so busy that I couldn't even forfeit anything for my health. And you know the worst part of it? The situation later became chronically bad. And I had died in regret. You know, I had wished that I could go back to the past. I had turned back the hands of clock and make things right. But guys, the time is past. I only have now. I can't do anything about the past. And this also leads to self-love. I have been the worst person when it comes to loving myself. I always argue when it comes to self-love because I'll always be like, with someone that is battling with health problem, battling with finances, battling with rent, battling with a lot of things, how can this person love herself? But now I understood that self-love is not all about you doing the material things or the external things. Self-love is all about the internal things. This is you being peaceful and being in a good relationship with yourself. Self-love is strong enough to get you through every life obstacles, ups and downs, any problems you feel like you are facing or you feel like it has choked you up. When you are filled with self-love, you know that you can never give up. You know that you have to be patient with yourself. You know that life is just a phase and each phase presents what it comes with. But self-love is always strong enough to lead you through every life phases. Self-love is what you need in order to complete that task, in order to become your best version, in order to walk through all those phases of life, in order to make yourself proud and to live a fulfilling life. Like, self-love is way deep than I ever thought or imagined. I come to understand that 90% of what self-love is from your internal self and just the 10% is from external. I wonder why it took me so long to understand what is self-love and to understand that I haven't loved myself all this while. Which leads us to the last point, and that is staying in the wrong circle. Like, baby girl, the worst thing you can ever do to yourself is staying with the wrong people, like associating yourself with the wrong gang. You will always feel like you are in some kind of control sector where you don't have the right to live your life, rather than living what people or what those people you call friends assume to be right. Like, your own approval doesn't really matter. You will practically start living other people's lives. You will find it so hard to live your own life, to approve your own things, to do things the way you want, because you will always want to maintain some sort of friendship or to maintain some kind of value you people shared in that relationship. This also leads to my relationship life. Girl, I started relationship things way too early and it's ruined my life. Like, the worst person that can ever be in a relationship is someone with low self-confidence, low self-esteem, and low self-validation. Like, this kind of person can never make a good relationship. Like, this kind of person can never be happy in a relationship. No matter how much you try, you will always remain a slave in that relationship. I have come to learn something, and that is whatever you want in life, take the initiative. If you want love, if you want validation, if you want approval, first give it to yourself. Because when you deprive yourself of taking these things, don't expect it from anybody external. They will not give it to you, and even when they give it to you, you will still find yourself undeserving. You will often sabotage yourself. You will often rob yourself of that credit. You will feel like you're not good enough, you don't deserve it. One thing about being with the wrong people is that no matter how much you are loyal to them, no matter how much you are good to them, they will always take it for granted. And one thing I have learned is that the kind of friends you associate with yourself have a very vital role to play in your life. They kind of impact you in a very high frequency. So I should be very careful with the kind of people I associate myself with and I keep around me. So thank you for staying tuned to the end of this video, and I hope that you learned from my mistakes. Do not wait to fall into that pit. And also tell me in the comment section one lesson you have learned from your past mistake. I would like to hear and connect with you in the comment section. Thank you once again and see you in my next video. Bye.